What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioWash 3 Raw TV. Well, I didn't think that, well, actually, I kind of expected my intermittent fasting video to catch some shit, but not as much hate as I actually thought would happen, to be totally honest with you. And for those of you that are interested in it, I'm going to explain to you now why I lost 10 pounds in a single week. Like, it took me about 4 days of actually researching. And my thing is, guys, if you're going to research something, don't just go on the first page of Google, and try to read whatever it is and go, this information's here or it's not here or I found this. Like, dig. Go 10 pages back and start at 1 and keep going through 10 pages. And you're going to find other things by the time you get to that 10th page that are not on the first page that might explain what's going on with some of the shit that's going on with you, okay? Now, that being said, I had people, first of all, saying it was clickbait. And I'm like, clickbait? I'm like, what the fuck? I can't even put up titles of something that actually happens to me because people are going to expect it's clickbait because they don't believe it. They can't believe it's real. Then you have the other people, and the fact that you can't believe it's real, it just means you don't understand it. I didn't understand it, but it's not the point. Other people thought, you know, they were like, well, Jerry, well, if you ate less calories, I'm like, I didn't eat less calories. Well, if you change the foods, I didn't change the foods, right? Well, maybe you lost water. I drink the same amount of water every day. Your workouts, the workouts were the same. They're the same workouts that I've been doing for the last about 12, 13, 14 years, to be honest with you. It's the same fucking workouts, right? Your cardio, I didn't change my cardio. I do the same cardio, same intensity, same amount. I literally changed nothing except, listen to me, I changed nothing. It's about as controlled as you can get. I sleep the same amount. I drink the same amount of water. The macros are the same. The foods are the same from Nutrition Solutions. The time that I sleep is the same. I don't know if did I say that already? Anyways, my workouts are the same. My cardio is the same. My work schedule that I work at, like I didn't suddenly get a job that it makes me more active, is the same. Everything is the same. Nothing has changed except I went from eating starting at 11:30 in the morning around the clock till probably about 12:30 at night, where now I eat 4:30 at night until 12:30 at night, or 12:30 in the morning, a.m. That's what changed, right? And again, let me also preface it with this. I also have been carb cycling for about 7 years. 7 years I've been carb cycling, even in the off season. That's how I maintain my body weight. Okay, I don't go out there and hit the same macros every day. I have a specific way that I do my macros every single fucking week, like clockwork, where I can make my body predictable. Even when you guys saw me do the T2G, where I gained the muscle back, that also was carb cycling in that. I have been carb cycling literally for like 12 years, like almost nonstop. The only times I didn't was when I would have an off season, I would just fucking eat. I would go ballistic and eat, like right after a competition. I'd take like a little period, I'd eat for like a week sometimes. But literally for like 10, 12 years, especially after I stopped competing in bodybuilding and moved to physique, I've been carb cycling year round. My carbs will adjust whether I'm getting lean or in the off season. But in the off season, which technically isn't an off season because I don't compete anymore, but to maintain my body weight, I've been at 205 for years. Nobody's paying attention to that. Right? They're only seeing what, you know, they see me like this on the camera, but they're not paying attention to the fact that my weight's not going up and down anymore because I'm not pushing it. I'm making a definite effort to maintain my physique year round, to have a fairly lean, fairly fit look year round. So my carb cycling has not changed, okay? Had I not done intermittent fasting, I would not have dropped 10 pounds. Nothing would have happened to my physique. It would have maintained what it's been doing for the last X amount of years, okay? Now, I start the intermittent fasting, which for me, it's not hard. I don't really like to eat, to be honest with you. Especially like throughout the day, I don't like to eat. I usually like to eat better at night for some reason. It's always been that way. I don't know what my problem is. It's just a natural way that my body likes food, I guess. I don't know. So switching to the intermittent fasting, my weight came down pretty fast. I was watching 2-3 pounds a day come down, 1 pound a day, 2 pounds a day. It wasn't exact amounts every day. Like, it wasn't like 1.5 pounds every day and it came down 10 pounds. It was like one day 3 pounds, one day 1 pound, one day 2 pounds, but it was going down very consistently from the day that I started all the way up to that Sunday, which was 7 days. Now I'm on day 8, 9, 10. I'm on day 10 now of intermittent fasting. And right now, after having my cheat day, my weight went back up and it's back down to baseline within 3 days, which means I still got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't have a cheat day. So I have 3 more days of intermittent fasting where my weight's going to be even lower. So in 2 weeks, I've lost more than 10 pounds. We'll see where it winds up. But I'm actually going to be in Cancun this weekend. So in Cancun, I'm not going to have my scale. I may not have a scale. But I'll probably lose even more in Cancun because I always actually lose weight on vacation. I eat even less and I'm even more active on vacation, which means I'm going to come down even faster on vacation. But that's neither here nor there. So I start the intermittent fasting. a week ago this past Monday, right? Within 7 days, I'm down 10 full pounds. And if I hadn't had the major cheat day, which I consider major cheat day having a couple of cheeseburgers and a sandwich, because I don't eat like that usually, my weight would have continued to drop. I stabilized it by doing that. Now, what happened? How is it possible? Without all the things that you guys thought of, and here's the thing that I'm not making fun of you guys, but I'm just explaining what you're thinking and your ideas. If you think that I haven't already thought of those things, then it's actually insulting to me, okay? Because the time that I've been doing this, and this is not a knock, this is not being conceited, I know a lot of things compared to you guys and seen a lot of things compared to you guys because I've been doing it for so long. So if I haven't done it and seen it, one of my friends has and I've observed it. So I've seen so many things, like there really isn't anything that I haven't seen in 30 years pertaining to bodybuilding, weight loss, and weight gain. There just isn't. I've seen it all top to bottom, right? So when you guys say, oh, Jerry, it's water loss, like, I'm not asking you because I couldn't figure out it wasn't water loss. You know what I mean? If you're like, well, Jerry, you changed this. I'm not asking. If I had changed something, I would know how it worked. I would know why it happened. Excuse me. I wouldn't have to be on camera going, I don't know how this is fucking working. If it's not making sense to me, I guarantee you it's something that you guys have not thought of, because I've already thought of all the basic things that automatically we go to that we've learned, right? So now what it does is it takes time to research. And the fact that everybody jumped so quickly on it that day means that nobody researched it. They just went with what they already knew. And again, it was all things I had already thought of. So I dive into the research, right? I dive into the research. And I find out some interesting things about ketosis. Now, intermittent fasting and a keto diet works amazingly well. That's not something that I didn't know. That is something that has been shown time and time again to work really well for a lot of people. It's not for everybody, but for a lot of people it works really well. Keto and intermittent fasting. Now, I'm not doing keto, but that doesn't mean that my body isn't going into ketosis. Now, bear with me. So the more research I did on fasting, I find that the longer you fast, your body does enter a state of ketosis. So if you fast for 2 days, you are very much in ketosis by the end of those 2 days. That's what happens to your body, right? Then you break the fast and your body will come out of ketosis if you're eating carbohydrates. But if you don't eat carbohydrates and you're just eating like a keto diet after fasting, you will stay in ketosis, okay? Now, I'm eating carbs. So how is it that I'm in ketosis if I'm eating carbs every day? Bear with me. So me, I don't eat a lot of carbs. I eat 100 grams of carbs a day for my baseline. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are 100 grams of carbs. Thursday, they go up to 250 grams. Back down at 100, Friday and Saturday. Sunday is my cheat day. I have structured my body like that the same way for years. This is how I do it. When I'm going to get ready for a show, those carbs on those low days start to get adjusted. The carbs on the high days start to get adjusted. Maybe we take a high day out. Maybe we put in a medium day. There's different ways to zigzag carbohydrate cycle, which this is just a way, but this is the way that I got my body adapted to it, okay? So my body's adapted to this over years of doing this, okay? Now, you eat 100 grams of carbs at 205 pounds. Now, after you're done with those 100 grams of carbs for the day, you start over the next day. Many of those carbohydrates that you have been eating are not even stored. Like, you get rid of a lot of them because you're not eating enough technically to cover your energy reserves, or you're barely covering enough just to maintain your energy reserves. So now what happens is, as you're fasting, you burn through that because you're not getting that meal in the morning anymore. You burn through that all throughout the day. You're done with those carbohydrates and that glycogen very quickly. I work out not long after I get up, maybe an hour or two after I get up. So after I get up and I work out, my body's in a state of ketosis for good 4, 5, 6 hours before I eat that meal. Now, do that 3 days in a row. With being in that state of ketosis, those glycogen carbs burn off even faster. Yes, you'll lose some water, but I lose that water anyways normally. But in that state of ketosis, my body is actually looking for more energy, and it is using ketones for good parts of the day, even though I'm eating carbohydrates. So part of the day, I'm in ketosis. Now, keto is something I respond very well to. If I'm behind getting ready for a contest and I drop into keto, 4 weeks I can make up ground that I was behind. If I was like, oh, I'm going to run out, I need 3 extra weeks to get in shape, I can go into keto and I'll make up that 3 weeks almost instantaneously within a week. 4 weeks, I'm ahead, right? I've known that. That's the trick that I've used for my body because I know how my body reacts to ketosis because I've been doing it since 1995. Dr. Mauro Di Pasquale came out with a book called The Anabolic Diet. He later came out with the Metabolic Diet, but the Anabolic Diet, which was a cyclo-ketogenic diet, which was 5 days of zero carbs or low carbs, fiber carbs, followed by 1 to 2 days, depending on how your body reacts to a higher carb source. Now, Dr. Mauro Di Pasquale talks in that book, okay, and many other doctors and scientists do, about how if you can normally eat 2,000 calories on a carbohydrate diet, you can eat 2,500, possibly 3,000 on the keto diet, and still lose weight. For some reason, you're able to eat more. Not sure how it works, but that is a known fact. Whether people want to agree, I don't care. People agree. I don't give a fuck. The research is there. All these fucking yahoos out there who claim to know, fuck them. I just don't really care. But the bottom line is you can normally eat more in keto than you do on a regular carbohydrate diet and still lose fat. Well, as my body enters ketosis, for some reason, even if it's 6 hours of ketosis that my body is in, that's 6 hours of ketosis. I'm only eating a window of 8 hours. Then I'm fasting again. So basically, I'm in keto almost as long as I am not in keto when my body takes in those carbohydrates. And those carbohydrates are very low, right? 100 grams. So at the end of the day, when I've had zero food all day and I start having those 100 grams, I even space those 100 grams out. So don't forget that I'm still active, burning off those carbohydrates while I'm doing things. And even when I'm done with my day, my body's still using that glucose for my brain and doing all the different things I'm doing. Don't forget, till 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm active packing boxes and moving around. So my body's in a state of ketosis using ketones at a much higher rate than the average person would because my body is now always in a glucose deficit for 3 days. Now, it's Thursday when I bring them up, they go up to 250 grams. Even for someone my size at 205, that's still not a lot of carbs. You can't fully carb up on 250 grams of carbohydrates. Then they drop back down to being low again, which is 100 grams. I'm going back into that glucose deficit very quickly again. But get this, as your body gets those carbohydrates in them for the loading day, it seems almost like you burn them off even faster. Like your brain is like, oh, thank God I have those carbohydrates, that glucose. And it starts using them even faster. So when you drop back down again after just 1 day of high carbs, you're still depleting yourself until you hit that cheat meal, that cheat day. When you hit that cheat day, that starts to slow things down a little bit. So your body's almost like fucking rocket fuel, in it until you get to that cheat day. And I've dropped 3 to 4, 5 pounds a week before by not restricting calories. I was doing more cardio, but I didn't increase the cardio. But I was using something called DNP. DNP made my body very inefficient at making energy, which is what it does, right? And I don't know if anybody knows this, but the best way to use DNP is to do a keto diet, ketogenic diet. There's less heat, you feel more comfortable, and your body burns fat faster, right? So we have this ketosis thing, which I'm not comparing the DNP to intermittent fasting. What I'm saying is that's the only time I've ever dropped weight that fast like that without really trying. I was doing my stuff, added the DNP, and then it just fucking dropped. Now, it's like I'm doing my stuff. I switched to intermittent fasting, and the weight just dropped. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I had to really step back and go, what the fuck is going on here? So after finding all that research, I realized that my body is dropping in ketosis, which my body really likes for some reason. It always has my whole fucking training career, especially when I was natural. When I was natural, my body loved keto. I just didn't like eating all those fucking meats all the time. It gets sickening. You want some crunch after a little while, like some fucking, even the almonds don't do it after a little while, like you want some fucking, something that has some crunch to it, like some fucking toast or some shit like that. And eventually that's usually what ruins people on the keto diet is they need, mentally they need it, not physically they need it. So when it's all said and done, that week I was in a good state of ketosis for a longer period of time than I normally am. And my body, which I'm a type of guy that doesn't gain weight to begin with easily, I drop weight easily. My body instantly went into that phase. And now don't forget that as you're using ketones, you are losing water with it too, right? It takes water to make those reactions happen. Those reactions are happening faster. So you're dropping fat, water. You're burning the glycogen up. My strength in the gym had not changed at all. So it wasn't, one guy was like, all right, you lost muscle. I didn't lose muscle. You don't lose 10 pounds of muscle in a week unless you're laying in fucking bed with a wasting disease. It's almost impossible. You'd have to do nonstop cardio for like 3 or 4 hours a day with no protein and no weight training for a week to drop 10 pounds of muscle. That's very hard to do. My strength is the same in the gym. One thing that I do notice is I gas out faster, meaning halfway through the workout, I start to get tired. Now, my body technically was dropping into ketosis. Now, I don't know if you've ever done keto before, but there's a shift when you go from glycogen-based to ketones that you feel a little awkward, right? As my body's shifting throughout the day, I would feel that kind of, tiredness, kind of run down feeling while I was training. When I get done training, I'd be really tired. Within an hour, I felt a lot better. And I don't mean better like I was recovered. I felt a lot better like I had an energy source, even though I hadn't eaten anything. All I'd had is water, right? So all of it makes sense now. Now, the problem that I have is so many people are out there want to point fingers at you and say, this is impossible. There's no way. You lost muscle. Like, oh, the craziest shit that I heard people saying, right? And I'm like, wow. I'm like, fuck. Are they right? Like, I started questioning myself, which I should never fucking do. Because when I hear people saying stuff, I'm like, well, I already thought about that. And I go, well, is it possible to lose 10 pounds of muscle and not lose any strength in a week? Fuck no, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible, period. Physiologically, it is not possible. It's possible to lose 10 pounds of water in a week. I lose 8 pounds of water every fucking night. People don't even realize that I'd be doing the same things. Like, a big key to success in bodybuilding is making your body predictable. Meaning that you can tell where your body's at right now and know what to do to make it do what it needs to do next. Okay? Now for me, when I stop drinking water when I go to bed, which usually about maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, I stop drinking water. By the time I get up at 8:30 in the morning, I've already dropped 6 pounds. I can weigh myself before I go to bed. When I get up in the morning, I've dropped 6 pounds, and I get up 2 to 3 times a night to pee, sometimes more, depending on how much water I've drank, how late. Like, I've been peeing that out for years. So I can tell you, when I get up in the morning, I weigh this. When I go to bed, I weigh this. It's the fucking like clockwork all the fucking time. So it's not water. That water loss happens every day. I would have to have not had any water, right, for like 3 days maybe, or 4 days to drop 10 pounds of water. I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, 4 liters a day. So like, and I try to give this information. I put out all the variables, right? And people go, no, it's impossible. No, it's muscle. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm like, fix my beard. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, you're not listening. Like, studies are controlled. I am as in controlled as you can fucking be. I guarantee if you had a fucking scientist sit with me in this fucking house day and night, he'd be this little lab coat, his pencil, he'd be like, this fucking guy is controlled. Holy fuck. Like, he's the same shit, like a fucking robot. That's just what I like to do. I like that, right? Like, I don't like to get up in the morning and be like, what am I going to have today? I have MyFitnessPal out and I can fill up all these macros. I don't like that. I like to get up in the morning and know exactly what the fuck I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat it, and not have to think about it. Okay, I got a lot of shit going on in my life. Last thing I need to be doing is playing the fucking lottery on these numbers on my fucking MyFitnessPal, trying to figure out how to fit in a fucking Twizzler or a piece of cake or whatever the fuck. I don't need that shit in my life. I just don't need it. I feel good when I eat clean food. I feel good mentally when I have a structure and I have a routine. So I stick to that shit because I like it and it makes me feel good and I get shit done, right? So everything is the fucking same all the time. Now, it took me 4 days of digging to figure out how this ketosis thing worked because I was eating carbohydrates. I'm like, how is this possible? But when you look at fasting itself, not intermittent fasting, actual fasting, if you fast like for a week where you don't eat any food, there are people doing every other day fasting. I have a friend who eats Monday, or he eats Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I think. The rest of the days he doesn't eat. He fasts for those entire periods. It's every other day eating. That dude has come down a weight like that. Unbelievable. Because he's restricting calories for a whole fucking day. But the fasting is putting him in a state of ketosis. He's not losing any muscle. And I'm like, how the fuck is he not losing muscle? He's training with weights. He's getting enough protein in now, technically on those days. He's also not a bodybuilder. So he's not an extreme amount where he needs a lot of protein synthesis to maintain his muscle mass. So that's a little bit different. But I'm watching his body as a regular individual who just kind of works out for health. I'm watching him maintain his muscle mass and feel better, look more lively, more alert and shit. And I was like, interesting. Fasting, no food, doesn't that mean you'd fucking feel worse, right? Well, not if you're in ketosis. You have plenty of fat in your body to use for ketones. Your brain uses ketones fine. It thinks they're fucking, it likes glucose. It prefer glucose, but it's like going to fucking McDonald's and getting a fucking burger, and they're like, oh, all we have is fucking mustard. We don't have any ketchup. So you can't have mustard and ketchup. You'd have just the one with fucking mustard. Like, it'll do. It's not a fucking big deal. You know what I mean? Just kind of get by with it, but it's fine. So he's just kind of continuously doing what he's doing, and he's feeling good. He's feeling clear-headed. I'm like, okay, so your body technically likes glucose, but will use the ketones just fine. So all of a sudden now we have this, okay, well, what happens when I come out of ketosis? Well, Mauro Di Pasquale put out the cyclo-ketogenic diet. Essentially what I'm doing now is a cyclo-ketogenic diet, but instead of cycling at certain days, my body cycles through it during one day. It goes into ketosis and out of ketosis within 1 day. There's a balance. And while I'm in ketosis, I'm awake, which means I'm moving around and very active, which means that my body, when it needs to repair itself at night, that glycogen stuff is helping my body repair itself. When I get up in the morning, there's not a lot of glycogen left. I drop into ketosis just because I'm not eating. And next thing you know, my body's pulling fat to use for ketones. And as it's using those ketones, I feel good. I feel more alert. I feel more clear-headed. I'm not having highs and lows due to my blood sugar from insulin going up and down, carbohydrates being digested. It's like my body's not digesting the food amounts that I normally would. And it's easier on my body. I feel healthier and I feel more alert. So for me, it was a win-win. It was, I had one guy say something about, well, Jerry, on one of your lives on Instagram, you said that Jim Stepani was an idiot because he does intermittent fasting. I'm like, he is a fucking idiot because he's saying you can bulk up on intermittent fasting. He's a fucking idiot, right? Plain and simple. I said, I don't give a fucking, Stepani's a well-known idiot in the fucking fitness industry. Not many people like the guy. He's a fucking idiot, period. And that's not what it's about. It's not about me gaining mass. It's not about me even maintaining muscle mass. If I drop 10 pounds of muscle, I'm fine with it. I'm 205. What the fuck? I don't even need to be 205. It's just where my body hangs out. I was 205 at fucking 19 years old, natural. Okay? And that was just training and eating. I am the same size, same body fat, everything at 44 years old as I was at 19 years old. How many 44-year-olds you know look the same at fucking 44 as they did at 19? That's me. And I'm not really trying to push it to be there. So I came down to 180 or something. I don't give a fuck. I was 180 when I was competing. Like, the weight doesn't matter to me, but feeling good, being clear, and getting shit done when you're trying to run 4 fucking businesses at a time, as well as be an NPC judge who's now been moved to head judge and do seminars and travel with that as well. I'm on 8 shows this year, right? You gotta be mentally clear for that shit. You're getting up early in the morning. You're fucking spending all day doing this stuff. Like, eating, if I don't have to eat, that's a better option for me. You know, so I just kind of looked at it and said, this is where my life fits. It's healthy. It's, you know, there's a lot of health benefits to it. I've never tried it for any specific length of time. So fuck it, let's do this. If I'm healthier and I feel better, that's all I'm looking for, right? It's not about building muscle. It's not about any of that shit. You know, if I lose a couple pounds of muscle, fucking so be it. Like, it's not important to me at this point in my life. So my goal, guys, be aware, is just to be a better version of me. And that doesn't mean a bigger version. It doesn't mean a leaner version. It means better. Better is better. Bigger is bigger. Leaner is leaner. Better is better. That's how that works. I think a lot of people now get confused. They start using different words to fucking explain the same thing. But that thing, there's a word that explains that. This word that you think explains it doesn't. Okay? Better, bigger, better, bigger. You might think bigger is better because you like to be big. So for you, that would be better. But in the real world, bigger doesn't mean better. Better is better. In your world, bigger means better. This is a fucking crazy video at this point. So anyways, hopefully you guys get what I'm at, you guys understand what I'm getting at, because I was actually shocked by the negativity of it. The people pointing fingers, the people fucking making fun of me. I'm like, boy, you guys are fucked. Like, you've never tried anything in your entire life that was new. I mean, at least when I tried it, I'm tracking it and I'm really taking notes and paying attention and studying it and researching it to figure out what the fuck is going on, because I had all kinds of fucking answers coming from everybody, shit that I'd already thought of, but shit that it can't be that. Like, it cannot be that. Like, and I'm like, you guys can't be, like, you guys are better than this. You can't be that simple where you think it's automatically the first thing you think of. Open your minds, expand your minds, study, research. Now I feel like after researching this, I have another tool in my toolbox for myself and my clients, which is intermittent fasting with carb cycling, intermittent fasting with keto, right? Every other day fasting, cycling fasting. I mean, there's so many different things we can do depending on the person and how it fits their body. So why the fuck wouldn't I want to do that? Why would I just stick to probably water loss, lost muscle, did too much cardio, didn't eat enough protein? I'm like, I covered all the fucking bases. What are you talking about? Like, I think honestly the problem is people read the title and they actually don't watch the video and they don't read the post. I think it's exactly what's going on. They don't have any fucking clue as to what's going on, but they try to have a conversation or a debate about something that they don't even understand. You know what I mean? It's like me not knowing anything about fucking Sharpie pens, right? Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? A Sharpie? A Sharpie I? Sharpie A? What the fuck is this? And then trying to have a debate about it with the fucking person who invented this and owns the company. Like, why would I do that? Like, I should at least study up on the fucking Sharpie first before I have the fucking argument or the debate. People don't even do that. They just feel like, I don't know if it's an ego thing where they feel like they know, right? They go, oh, I fucking know everything. I'm going to teach Jerry something today. And I'm like, actually, you're way fucking behind. Like, that's something I thought of 10 minutes after I fucking realized I dropped 10 pounds. Here we are a week later, and we're still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure it out, but now we're at the point where we figured it out, and I think we figured it out. I mean, there could be something else going on. Who the fuck knows? I mean, I have no idea. I could have coronavirus for all the fuck. I have no idea. Who the fuck knows? I feel all right, but who the fuck knows? But the bottom line is, guys, it's I think I had it figured out, and I think it works phenomenally. And I think that this is a tool. If you guys want to use it, it's a tool. Try cycling carbs with intermittent fasting. Try going keto intermittent fasting. I know plenty of people that popped up that are doing keto intermittent fasting. Like, dude, I'm fucking shredded on it. I got shredded easily on it. It's easy to fucking do. And I'm happy with it. I feel great. And I'm like, all right, you can't argue with that, right? It's all positive things. There's nothing negative, right? I mean, can't gain muscle on it that well. Okay, that's a negative for some people. Other people, that's a positive. They don't want to get any bigger. They just want to be lean all the time. So hopefully, guys, this explains what the fuck went on in the last 2 weeks. And it calms people the fuck down, because I can't believe how many people got upset or fucking, you know, just lost their fucking minds about it. And I'm like, well, first of all, why the fuck are you guys upset? I'm the one going through this. Like, what the fuck are you upset because I said something? Like, I feel like I'm not allowed to say anything out loud anymore because I might be wrong about it. But what if I'm not wrong, guys? What if I'm not wrong and I just found something I gave to you guys because I put the time in on trying it? I decided to do it. I could have failed. I could have succeeded. But I put the time in. I did the fucking research. I figured it all out. And I give it to you guys for free. What the fuck do you have to complain about? That's my question. BobStrength@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. But don't fight. BobStrength.com is the blog. It's fucking, here we are, bicep. See, it doesn't look any smaller. Fuck it. We are out.